Shalom, more praise the how about Shemel Shah, double line, C Pastor GMS's. I'm now Alec, coming to the video. Continuing this lesson on the tribe, Simeon, Levi. So, of course, before I start the video, I gotta go back to, before I get into new information, of course, I gotta go right back to the scripture, Genesis 25th chapter. So, let's get right to it. This is Genesis Genesis 49th chapter, 50 and 5th verse. Simeon, Levi, brethren, instruments of cruelty on their habitation. We broke this down already. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. Mine honor, be not thou united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they done a war. So we're still talking about the assembly now. So let's go back into this, the dance or the voodoo ceremony. Now, if you watch the last part, you would know that I ended off on this PDF article here, the role of dance in Haitian voodoo. I'm at I ended at about this third paragraph, so I'm gonna start from there again. Right. Dunham's ethnographic work on voodoo dance gives us an excellent account as to the organization and form of dance and ceremonies. A voodoo ceremony has two parts in chronological order, a Rada rite and a Petwo Congo rite. I read that already. Dunham, 1947, observed that the Rada Dahomey service begins with the Danza Zepoles, which purifies and prepares for the arrival of the Lord. This dance is usually accompanied by songs sung to Legba and then to other Loa. The rest of the dances in the ceremony are determined by the type of Loa that are to be worshipped that night. These dances are called Rele Loa, which mean to call or summon a Loa. In other words, a Lord or spirit. These dances are different than other dances because they are dances of possession. They symbolically reflect the Loa possessing the individual. So remember that word here, Danza Zipoles. These words here. Let's go to that other PDF file that I have wrote out that mention that. Now, through the spirit, I have found this PDF file. It's called Songs and Dances of Haiti. Now, you go right here to page, what's this? Page, well, it says 9 on the file, but right here on the page it says 6. You go here, remember it said Danza Zepolis, right? Side 1, band 1. So, this is just a bunch of different songs. Wait 1 second, let me back up. Let me zoom out. So one of these songs, side 1, band 1. Right? It says Simeon Ayida Zipole dance. This is religious music of the Dahomey or Vodun family of tribes. And there's different families in voodoo too. But I'm not going to go into all different families because that's not the point. It's not to teach you about voodoo. It's just to go into the 49th chapter of Genesis. So it says, Simeon Ayida Zipole dance. This is religious music of the Dahomey or Vodun family of rites. It is primarily a shoulder dance, les epoles, and is used during Vodun services to supplicate the lower or spirit beings. The lower being addressed in the song is Aida Widow, a member of the Dahomey pantheon. Now remember it says it's primarily a shoulder dance. Can we find a video on that? Let's see. Now check out this video. See that? It says opening the ceremony, Rada rite, Miami, Florida, January 2nd, 2012. See See how they moving their shoulders? Let's go to another part. See if we can get some. Let me continue. Let's go to part 2. Don't mind that. That's David Ruffin right there. So as you can see, they're moving their shoulders. See that? This lady right here in the middle. Right where the play sign is located. See her move on shoulders? It's primarily a shoulder dance. They're moving their shoulders. Let me fast forward a little bit. Okay, look at this one. It's a better one. It's the same video. It's just part 4. Watching their shoulder, moving their shoulders. See, they're moving their shoulders around. Still moving their shoulders. Primarily a shoulder dance. See them dipping with their shoulders, swinging their arms. You swing your arms with what? That's the shoulder. See that? This is a real live view ceremony right here. Dimes. Now I had paused it because I was going to go back to the article, but as I fast forwarded, I saw even more shoulder movements. Now you see that right there? See the image of that so-called saint right there? Right just above that play sign in the middle of your screen. Right above this triangle in the center of your screen. See that so-called saint right there? That so-called white man with the prayer hands and the blue on the wall? That's coming into this secret. That's that religious syncretism. Another one right there on the wall. That's Julie Dantor, or supposed to be so-called Virgin Mary right there on the left side of the screen. So-called Virgin Mary, supposed to represent Julie Dantor. Let's get on that. You've seen enough. Y'all get the picture. Come on, man. So you go back to this article here. It says, right here, where it says 1947, Dunham observes 1947 that the Rada Dahomey service begins with the Danza Zippolis, which purifies and prepares for the arrival of the Loa. So we just saw the Danza Zippolis. It doesn't say what that is, but that's what you gotta research it. And through the spirit when I researched it, right here it says Zippole dance. This is religious music for the Dahomey or Rodan family of rites. It is primarily a shoulder dance, less Epolis. So it's a shoulder dance, as we just watched, as we just seen. And is used during voodoo services to supplicate the Loa or spirit being, which supplicate means to beg earnestly. And that's why I said it's to purify and prepare for the arrival of the Loa. Let's keep reading. They're supplicating them, they're begging them earnestly, asking them to come. This dance is usually accompanied by songs sung to the Legba and then to other Loa. The rest of the dances in the ceremony are determined by the type of Loa that are to be worshipped that night. These dances are called Rele Loa, which means to call or summon a Loa. These dances are different from other dances because they are dances of possession. They symbolically reflect the Loa possessing the individual. Yan Valo is one such dance. Dunham describes Yan Valo as the dance for a general group of Loa that include Ayida Wedo, Izili, Saint Jacques, and Gide. I believe that's how it's pronounced. However, both Daniel and Wilkin describe the Yan Valo dance as a dance that mimics a snake's movement and is thus dedicated to Papa Dambala. Dunham does make a distinction for Dambala having his own dance that is stylized after him as the snake god, determined that the Yanvalo dance is really for Dambala due to the movements of the body and arms that mimic a snake. Dunham gives us another example with Agwe, whose dances are in flowing movements, half swimming, half waves. These examples demonstrate, as Daniel argues, that the purpose of ritual dance is to transform the community in such a way that the spirits will appeal. Let's see. Now, real quick, I went on Google and type in Mambo. Mambo is like the priestess. Mambo is a priestess in the Haitian voodoo religion. When you click on images, you see these women, they dress just like the women we watching them videos. See how they got their head covered, they dressed in white, you know? So this video has to be on point through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shah. But let's go see if you can see the dance that mimics that of a snake. Let's see if we can find that. And I also want to show y'all something else. You see this little thing right here in the middle? That's the potomitan. That's that pole that connects from the floor to the ceiling. That's supposed to represent the divine couple. Dambala Wedo and Yido Wedo. And it's supposed to connect from the floor to the ceiling, which is supposed to basically like prevent the sky from crumbling down to the earth. And it has serpents on it. Supposed to have two serpents on it. As you can see the design of it, it got serpents drawn on it. It got a snake drawn on it. See that right there in the middle? Well, but not in the middle, but right next to that water bottle. So come on, we went into that last episode. You got to check it out. The Potomitan. That's supposed to be where the spirits would travel, because you know they're supposed to be able to communicate with Legba. Who Legba is supposed to be associated, or Papa Legba is supposed to be associated with Saint Peter. Look at this. That's Peter. Peter was said to have held the keys. How should I say they're giving him the key? Well, Papa Legba looked at it as a gatekeeper. See? And to open the gate, you need a key. That's why they synchronized him with Saint Peter. But let's go and see if you can find the other dance where they're acting out like a Loa, like a snake. Now remember, we read here. It said you had the Rada rite and the Petwo Congo rite. Remember that? And it mentions the different dances associated with the Loa. Wait 1 second. So one of the dances that we're gonna watch is the Rele Loa dance, which is basically just a dance to call or summon a Loa. And it says these dances are different than other dances because they are dances of possession. They symbolically reflect the lower possession of the individual. Let me jump down. So it says right here at the top of your screen, it says Dunham gives us another example with Agwe, whose dances are in flowing movements, half swinging, half waves. And then it mentioned down below like a snake. We read that one already, so we don't gotta read that again. Let's look at the video. And then they got kind of swinging motions. And the arms. See them moving like a snake. You could be calling Dambala, a serpent god. So-called serpent god, serpent lord. Now I mentioned they'll be moving their arms, half swinging like they're swimming. That's supposed to represent Agwe, who was said to be a voodoo loa or spirit of the seas. And it said he associated with Saint Ulrich, who was depicted as having a fish, I believe, in his hand. Let me look that up real quick. I typed in Saint Ulrich fish, and look what you see. He got a fish in his hand. Okay, fish. That's the religious syncretism right there. Let me try to end it off real quick. Let me continue reading. Not only is it important for the Lord to appear at the ceremony, it is a reflection of the living memory mentioned before. Daniel also goes in detail about embodied knowledge, which is comparable with Daniel's example of embodied knowledge is in the dance for the lower Ogu. Ogu's dance involved aggressive warrior stances, rigorous traveling movement sequences, and an emphasis on slicing or cutting with the sword or some sort of metal. Though the dance of Ogu, the audience is reminded as to who Ogu is, his reputation as a warrior, and his association with iron. Brown also describes the possession of Mamalola by Ogu and the dance was performed. She describes his gestures as elegant, which speaks to the power which he embodied as the warrior. The ideas of living memory and embodied memory are reflected even within the cultural history and structure of the dances. Wilkin translates Moreau's description of the dances as being from Africa and their characteristics. As mentioned before, Rada and Petro Congo are the main parts of the voodoo ceremony. Rada is the remembrance and worshipping of the lower originating in the Dahomian region. Petro Congo includes the lower originating from Africa and the Congo and Angola regions. It is different from Rada because some of the lower it includes also originated in Haiti. 3 different dance styles make up the dances of Rada. There's a pole, which means shoulders, is a move featuring fast pushing the shoulders back and forth. The Mai is a fast-paced 3-step pattern dance with agricultural influences. These 2 dances, along with the Yan Valo addressed earlier, make up the Rada dances. So everything we've seen them pacing with their feet. See them having a pattern with their feet moving. They was moving their feet as they was moving their shoulders back and forth. And they did the Yan Valo dances when they was acting out the saint, so the lower, moving like a snake and so forth. The Petro dances are considered more powerful than Rada. The steps are violent, include the thrusting of the chest and the high lifting of the legs. I'll go into that one in the next episode. But let me just show you one more and that's it. And I'm glad that in the video because I want to show you this part too. Remember I read it said 3-step dances, right? Now look at their feet. Look, 3 steps. 1, 2, 1. 1. Look at that guy right there with the white shoes. He does 3 steps and then he repeats the same pattern. 1, 2, 3. See? 1, 2, 3. And even when he does it with the same foot, it's 3 steps. He does 2 with the left and then 1 with the right. Watch. He's gonna go right now. Look. Look. 1. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Look at the guy right beside him. 1, 2, 3. You gotta watch it close. Bear with me. Look. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. 1, 2. There you go. He might shake his foot a little bit, but it's still a 3-step pattern if you look closely. Boom, boom, 3. Boom, boom, 3. Got right beside him, look at that. Boom, boom, 3. Look at all their feet. They're doing the same 3-step pattern. They'll move one foot, then move the other foot twice. Then move. If you look at their feet and how they're moving, it's obviously it's not it's obviously not done by mistake. It's something that's a part of the ceremony. That's why they all moving their feet in a certain pattern. Boom, boom, boom. So we got the shoulder movement, we got the 3-step pattern, and we have the dances that they were doing. So we had a shoulder movement, the 3-step pattern, and we showed the dances of them actually acting out the possession. So this is all, come on. This is the assembly. They're gonna do the feet in the same 3-step pattern. Look again. You know? They're moving their feet like that. Come on, man. You don't gotta watch no more. And it's the last one I'm gonna show. When it said I mentioned that Ogle, who was a warrior, and it said aggressive warrior stances right at the top of your screen. Aggressive warrior stances, rigorous traveling movement, sequences, and then emphasis on slicing or cutting with a sword or some sort of metal. Let's look. He's supposed to be getting possessed by Ogle, but you really getting possessed by a damn demon. See? That's the Potomitan with the serpent on it. Attached from the floor to the ceiling, see? Aggressive movement, slicing with a sword, a metal weapon. See the music is playing. This is all a part, everything that we read in these past two lessons. Okay, that should be enough. It's crazy. And with that, I'm gonna close. You know, it's 2 more paragraphs left, and I'll finish that next time. So with that, I'm gonna say, oh praise how about Shmi Shah, Double Lancy Posture GMS. Hope brothers learn something. Low will. I'm continuing the lesson. Shalom.